So once again, hello, and to the thing that I want to build and make. Today we have this nice little kit here, which is the DSO138 oscilloscope. Yeah, I got this as a present, and it seems they're pretty popular. You can get them on eBay for relatively little money from a lot of sellers. They're usually below 30 euros, and the set contains quite a lot of stuff actually, and it will be the biggest project so far, and there will probably be again a lot of mistakes, but I hope in the end we can make it work. The oscilloscope is for rather low frequencies from what I gathered from this nice little explanation sheet. I think it's for frequencies up to 200 kilohertz, which is more or less like in the audible range. So this is not for analyzing any high frequency digital circuits or something like that. But I guess we can find a nice audio output that we can run through it once we finish this. So first let's take a look at the components that we get in this nice kit. First of all, there's this big red PCB board. You can take a closer look here. There are some pre-soldered SMD components, some kind of microcontroller or something, another chip here, and I don't know, some transistor or something on this side. I don't know exactly what it is. We can look it up later. It says LM1117, so that's probably something we can look up online. The back side of the PCB is more or less empty. There are some traces, but no SMD components there. And apart from some SMD resistors, it's pretty clean, and there's a lot of stuff that we have to solder onto this. One of the big parts that you get is this nice little LCD screen, 2.4 inch TFT display, which will come sort of like over here, and a whole bag full of components, resistors, capacitors, switches and stuff like that. Plus you get a BNC cable with 2 crocodile clips at the end, which you use as your probes to actually acquire the signal. The little leaflet here is pretty nice. It tells you about the functions of this device, because of course there's a firmware on this microcontroller which actually runs sort of like the analyzing program, which shows you the waveform and some menus which you can run through, or settings which you can run through. And on the back you get the actual circuit diagram for this thing, and we also add some other information which I have to look up in a moment, but usually, yeah, here it is. These kits come with another leaflet which actually tell you how to assemble this whole thing, because I guess there's these do-it-yourself kits and there's probably also pre-soldered ones, and they talk you through the list of resistors that you get, the high frequency chokes, diodes, crystals, USB socket and all the other stuff. I will make sort of like a time-lapse video of the assembly of this thing, because I think anything else is way too long. It will probably take me a couple of hours to assemble this, but I will stop at every component that I will solder. So basically first I will start with the resistors and go step by step with all the other stuff here, and shortly explain what they look like and the finished steps. And if and when I encounter problems, I will also tell you about it. So basically that's that. What else do we need to assemble this? Well, a lot of time, obviously, patience. Our trusty cheap multimeter is very useful for at least checking all the resistor values so that we don't mix them up. And also, of course, we need our trusty cheap soldering iron and I will also use my third hand tool to make the soldering a bit simpler. So I think we have said enough, and yeah, let's get started. Well, and of course I already made my first mistake, but no worries, we hopefully can fix this. So there's this R9 resistor, which should be, according to this list, a 1 kilo ohm resistor, but I actually made a mistake and took the 3 kilo ohms resistor and put it in the same place. So I will now try to desolder it and replace it with the correct one, which should be this one here. Let's quickly double check not to make another mistake. So this is 1 kilo ohms, alright, yes. So we will take this and try to desolder the other one and resolder it in the correct place at R10, which is right above. No, we actually made it correctly. R9, no, we actually made it wrong because they are right next to each other. R9 and R10, so that's a mistake you can easily make. So let's go on to desoldering. Okay, the resistors are all done now. This is the end result. So one more problem I encountered was that up here there are a couple of high ohm resistors, like the 1.1 meg and 2 meg and some 200 kilo ohm resistor, and you actually have to put down the resistors on your mat because your skin actually conducts better than these resistors, so you're actually measuring your skin resistance, it seems. And I was wondering why I don't get the correct readings. Anyway, now I figured that out. It makes perfect sense, and we have all of the resistors soldered now. Next will be the high frequency chokes and also the diodes. We will do those two things and maybe the crystal, and then we'll take a break because this already took way longer than I anticipated, which means I probably have to do a lot more soldering and practice here. So let's get on with the diodes, I think. So the diodes are finished now. Those are the ones here. You have to make sure that the polarity and the type of the diode is correct, but it's all on the board and on the diode itself as well. And now let's do the HF chokes. Okay, HF chokes are done. Now for the last thing for today, the crystal. Let's see where it's supposed to go. The oscillator is supposed to go, I think, here. Yeah, that's correct. That's a pretty simple piece. Why is it here? Polarity doesn't matter, so we just put it in here and we'll solder it very quickly. So that's that then. We already have quite a bunch of components on this board. Still, the capacitors are to come, the USB socket and all the other little piece of equipment, some induction is still lying around here. And we will do this in the next part, and hopefully in a third part we can see if this thing works. That would be very nice. So that's it for today. I say thank you for watching, and I hope you liked this video. Make sure to also see the following videos, share the video if you liked it, please also like it, and you can also subscribe to this channel. So thanks and have a good night.